This is... I got some Arsenio Hall fans. It's great to be here. Welcome to Comedy Street. My name is Leland Klassen, and welcome. Welcome. Yeah. It's good to have you all here. We're always happy to see people coming out because, you know, it'd be empty if nobody did, I guess. That's why. Yeah. How old are you, sir? Can I? 17 years old. And you going to school? What's your name? Can I get you? Kevin. Where do you go to school at? St. Paul's. Okay, I guess that means nothing to me. But is that a legit school? Yeah. All right. What are you taking there? You're grade. What grade are you in? Going into grade 12 next year. So are you going to be going to college after that? Where are you gonna go to college? University of Manitoba, huh? He's a bison. That's what he is. Boy, that's boring, huh? No, what are you doing this summer? You must have some big summer plans. Thanks, Kev. Are you guys together? Excellent. Did that happen on the show as well? The show we did in Gimli? Right after the staring contest? No, how did you guys meet? March for Jesus. So you're just kind of marching along? That's great. Even I thought that one was funny. You got it. That's. Are you guys ready to get the show rolling? Are you ready to have a good time tonight? You guys are in for a real treat. This is one of my favorite comedians. Personally, one of my favorite comedians in Canada. He's a very, very funny man. He's done it all and been everywhere, folks. Put your hands together for the very funny, originally from Winnipeg, folks, Irwin Barker.
Oh, thank you. And Leland Klassen, folks. Leland, huh? I was going to start by saying a big hand for Leland, but I thought it sounded like I was making fun of him all of a sudden. You see the mitts on that guy? Man. I was waiting out for the cab in front of the hotel. This lady came up to me and she goes, "Excuse me, sir, do you have the correct time?" "No, I have the incorrect time. It's not 3:15. That's all I can tell you." I'd love to chat. I gotta go. I could be late, you know. Apparently my cab will be here on time if you want to stick around for that. That's better that I take the cab, by the way. I'm the worst driver. The last time I was in Winnipeg, I rented a car. My accountant told me I'd be smart to try to write it off, so I drove it into a bridge. I'm the worst driver, I'll admit that. I'm absent-minded. I wander into the other lane. I constantly having people shaking their fist at me and calling me names, "You idiot." You know, I mean, I don't care. They're going way faster than I am. I'm never going to see these people again in my life, so call me what you want. I'm not going to take it to heart, you know, like I'm going to roll down the window of the car. "You don't know me as a whole person." Oops, sorry. Man, it's so nice to be back home in Manitoba. Okay? Friendly Manitoba, as they call it, right? Yes, sir. It is. I was on Reach for the Top, too, back in my high school days. Oh, well. What do you win with that? Get every question right, and what do you win? Nothing. You win that the rest of the people in school call you briefcase boy. That's what you get. Yeah. You win that the school bullies come around and steal your homework. Always amazed me that the teacher could never figure that out, you know. Well, most of you did all right, but Irwin and Muggsy and Sluggo did quite well. Very good, boys. I'd love to get on a show where I could win money. I don't know, like Survivor. I'd vote myself off the first day. That's what? There's no hot tub? Sitting around the campfire confessing, man, this is driving me to I don't know what. I stole apple juice from craft services when they were changing my tape, I'll tell you. Or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's too slow. That's the whole problem with the questions are too easy. The guy takes forever to answer. You ever watch that show? And the guy's like, what is the primary ingredient in toast? Is it A, carbon, B, yeast, C, bread, or D, jam? You know? The guy's got to think it over. He's like, well, I know it's not jam because you put jam on toast. You know, Regis, when I was a kid, I remember we used to wake up in the morning and we'd brush our teeth and we'd go downstairs and we'd pour dried cereal in a bowl and we'd put milk on it and then we'd eat it with a spoon. And while we were doing that, my mother would make toast. So I'd like to call my mother. Mrs. Johnson, we have your son on the line here with a chance to win $100. Provided this isn't something genetic that we're dealing with. Do you get frustrated watching game shows or Wheel of Fortune? There's another example where the guy's taking half the show trying to figure out the most obvious puzzle in the world. You know, Pat Sajak's ready to punch him. Could I have a tea? Pat's like, no, Phil, you can't. As I explained to Norm when he just asked for one, and I told Linda when she wanted a tea, there's no tea on this phrase, okay? We could do this all weekend if you want. 100 years from now, the phrase will not have a tea on it. Norm, it's your turn. Spin the wheel. Try not to get your tie caught in it. Do you want me to run through the alphabet with you one more time? A little hint for you then. 6 is not in the alphabet, okay? And for you folks at home, remember that one of these lucky contestants will be driving home a brand new car. So you might want to stay off the streets for a few days. The show I like the best is Jeopardy. Do you watch Jeopardy at all? Yeah? Yeah. You play along, you get one question right, you just feel like the next Einstein. Hey, just strutting around the living room, I'm way smarter than that Gurn guy. I always love it when they have the finalist rounds on because you don't even know what they're talking about and they're so quick. They're like, yes, I'll take Czechoslovakian inventors for 500, please. Probably best known for his neurological research on the etiology of asphasia. Who is Boris Nemeshek? I'll take South American plant life for 200, please. Worshipped by the Aztecs for its fragrant aroma. What is the Sinkoya? It's pronounced Aztecs, Alex. I'll take Indonesian mythology. You ever wonder what would happen if they got these game show contestants mixed up? They'll get the Jeopardy guests on Wheel of Fortune just by mistake. Be something like this. Our first category is a phrase. I'd like to solve the puzzle, please. See, Pat, you don't have any letters. You don't have any money. Oh, I'm here for the car, Pat. Save the chump change for next week's Yahoos. Meanwhile, back on Jeopardy, Alex Trebek's just going totally out of his head with the Wheel of Fortune people. No, you can't buy a vowel. You have to guess the whole thing, okay? No, I'm sorry, Greenland is the incorrect answer. Would either of you two like to take a wild stab at naming one of the planets? Oh. I don't believe it. It's worth $100. Hey, I'll tell you what, talk it over. You come up with the right answer, $50 each. Just remember your response must be in the form of a question. You know, a question like, how did you get on my show? Are you on medication? Is all your family this way? I actually learned something watching Jeopardy a couple of weeks ago. The category was sports of the world. And the question was, what is Canada's official national sport? And hockey, I said right away, I was wrong. Do you guys know what it is? So, I'm the only idiot then. Yeah, apparently Canada's official national sport is lacrosse. I don't know anyone who wouldn't come out on Saturday because lacrosse happens to be on TV, but our government knows better than I do what we do as Canadians. I don't see couples arguing because one of them spends all their time watching lacrosse. You love lacrosse more than me. I don't hear that. I don't go to other countries. You know, people come running up to me. You're Canadian? Oh, tell me about lacrosse. Well, that's our official sport in Canada. That's all I know about it, though. I guess the rules are in English and French. I don't know what it is. Actually, I do know. Historically, it's significant. It was played hundreds of years before there were ever any white European settlers here. Interesting enough, by the way it was played hundreds of years ago is they'd carve out a huge area, like miles and miles of bush, and then they'd have 50 or 60 lacrosse players on a team, and a lacrosse match would last for days. And to me, that sounds exciting, I suppose, I guess, unless you're the goalie, maybe. just peering into the bush for a day and a half. Just knowing that at any second some leather-covered rock's going to come zinging by your head at 93 miles an hour. I got myself one of these Costco memberships. Have you been to Costco? Man, it's a great place to shop, if you're planning on having the Russian army over for fish sticks, maybe. Yeah. Handy enough if you're running an orphanage, I suppose. As a single guy, it's weird. It's like huge decisions. All right, now what flavor of soup am I going to eat for the next 3 years of my life here? You don't want to be 8 months into the cream of broccoli going, oh, I don't know if I can go the distance on this stuff. I'm just going to wait for the food bank benefit and be the hero. That's what I'll do. Man, get my wheelbarrow. I'm going now. I don't care. Oh, man. I remember the first time I went, I had on my list nutmeg. Huh? Go to the spice section. The smallest they've got are these drums. It's like Marco Polo didn't bring that much nutmeg back from China. You think I'm lugging that on the bus? You're crazy. And they got weird stuff too, like bookshelves and wading pool. Like, who has wading pool on their grocery list? Anybody here? Yeah? Especially there, just buy the giant margarine and wait till it's empty, huh? Yeah. Takes like 6 years, sitting in the backyard, reminiscing. Oh, man. Oh, I still can't believe it wasn't butter. Is that weird? It's a great place to shop. So, for $143, I got enough raisins to last me the rest of my life. So. I am sitting very pretty on the raisin front, I'll tell you that. I got more than I need. I can't get rid of them. That's the problem. I got friends over here. Take a bag home with you. I don't know. They're high in copper. They're good for the blood. Nobody wants them. As soon as my phone rings, hello, Irwin here. Yeah. How you doing, Irwin? Raisin-wise, I'm okay. Why? Who do you call him? Hanging around every time I'm at parties or anywhere. It's hanging around, hoping somehow the topic of raisins is going to come up. People are sitting around talking and listening, just so I can step in and be the big shot. What? I heard you mentioning raisins. Yeah, I can hook you up. Don't worry. What do you need? Huh? Yeah, Thompson seedless. Those are the ones you want. The dark brown ones. Get those. I'll tell you. Huh? Those are they're sun-dried. Don't go for this sultana stuff. You know, the South African raisins. They're not even sun-dried. They're dipped in potassium carbonate and they're dried on racks. They've seen about as much sunlight as a truffle. That's why they're greenish yellow. They're not even. Typical South Africa, afraid of dark brown even if it's a raisin. How deep does that go? Oh, people think they're insignificant. That's the thing. It amazes me. That's all I'm saying is how common raisins are and how infrequently they come up in conversation. That's all I'm saying. Nobody talks. No, actually, once it came up and I was gone. I was in the bathroom, which the raisins are partly responsible for. I can hear them talking out there. I'm missing my big chance. Man. It's a dried grape. You ever think of that? Dried grape is called a raisin, and then dried plum is called a prune, and dried apricot is called dried apricot. Right? Is that the point where the language people just stepped in and said, all right, enough? Not making up a new word every time you leave something out on the shelf for the day. Forget it. This is nuts. From now on, you're just dried whatever. That's why we have adjectives. Phew. Dictionary's big enough as it is. You ever look up the word dictionary in the dictionary? A little hand comes out and smacks you in the head. That's one of the things I do when I travel is I have a dictionary because I work as a writer a lot. And this is weird. This is weird that I have a dictionary with me all the time. I probably have one on me now. And I was flipping through, and the word potato is defined in Webster's dictionary as a farinaceous tuber. Huh? You figure if somebody doesn't know what a potato is that going to help them out at all? Aren't they going to be looking at that going, oh, look, more words now? Not tons of crime in Canada either. Well, not compared to the States anyways. And some odd stuff. I saw this, was back in Vancouver. There's a guy had gone in to rob a convenience store, and the one witness who happened to see him was a portrait artist. Huh? Of all the rotten luck, eh? Guys stealing magazines. Well, Bateman's in there trying to buy cigarettes or something. Makes it easy for the cops. Can you tell us what he looked like? Yeah, he looked exactly like this. There's a little squirrel up in the tree. Here, you can take that home and frame it if you want. That's irony. Some guy rotting away in jail while meanwhile his wanted poster's fetching 50 grand at Sotheby's. Hey, isn't that you, Fred? What if it had been a novelist witnessing the crime? Can you describe the man who robbed the store? Well, he was an opaque figure against the moon. And his eyes were mired in angry images, but there was this echo of desperate loneliness. Did he look anything like this drawing here with the squirrel? Yeah, that's bang on. That's like 8 pages right there. What about Picasso as the police artist? Well, I know his nose was in the middle of his face. I just think it looks better behind this guitar, that's all. something occurred to me. I was wondering, why do they always have the witness to the crime have to identify the accused in court? That just seems odd to me, you know? The man who robbed the store, is he here in the courtroom? I'm pretty sure it's the guy in the orange suit shackled to the bailiff. It could have been his buddy in the suit. I don't know. It was dark. I do a little bit of acting from time to time in Vancouver. Nothing you would have seen me on much. It's always like the small parts, but, you know, like scientist number 2 or something like that, where you get to say one line, shut it off, you know, that kind of stuff. Man, I've had such a fun time tonight. You know, a lot of times, a lot of comedians, they talk about sex all the time. That's all their whole. But me, I grew up in a Pentecostal home, so what would I know about sex, eh? Stick to what I know. That's my rule. But in terms of a message, I thought I'd think of one real quick. There's no message. I thought I keep it. It's clean and pointless, is what it is. Okay? It's clean and pointless. Anyways, Leland, thanks so much. You guys have been a wonderful crowd, and appreciate your patience.
Irwin Barker. What did I tell you folks, huh? Irwin Barker. Huh? Yeah.